So we've had the PG era, we've had the Attitude era, but now it is time for the Almighty era. And the man responsible for that is the WWE Champion, the Almighty One, the one and only, Bobby Lashley. How are you, man?
Hey, I'm fantastic.
You look very, very good. You look very happy with your title next to you. And I've got to say, you're looking very dominant at the moment. The question is, can anyone stop you right now?
No. I mean, if you've been watching for the past year and you've been watching what I've been doing, I've been on fire. I mean, these guys are just merely positions in front of me to keep me active. I mean, Drew looks good. Braun's been looking really great. And, but I'm just on a different level. And you know what I tell those guys? I say, you know what? The best position that you can be in the WWE right now is number 2, because I'm number 1. So you guys can fight for number 2. There's a lot of guys that are up there at number 2, and number 2 is a great position to be in, because when I'm retired, number 2 becomes number 1. So that's where we're at right now.
Well, you mentioned Drew McIntyre. Do you think he really deserves another chance? Because you beat him already, and Braun Strowman as well. Like, what do you think about that decision to give them a match at WrestleMania Backlash?
I really don't mind. You know, MVP was arguing about like how fair it was and different things like that. And, you know, at the end of the day, I don't care. I beat both of them before, and all it is bringing them both in the match and then beating them both together. The only thing I do worry about to a little extent is when I lost the United States title, Riddle beat John Morrison, and I lost my title. So now we're in the same situation where if Drew can somehow squeak a win over Braun, or Braun can squeak a win over Drew, then my title leaves my hands without anything or it being beat. And that's the one thing I don't like. I don't like about these triple threat matches. But you know what? In this case, the only thing I can do is just beat them both up.
You sound very confident. And I'm looking at your title right now. I've got to ask, how did it feel when you finally lifted that title for the first time? I know you've waited a long time in your WWE career. How did it feel when you finally lifted that WWE title?
It felt amazing, because here's one thing. What people don't understand what this title is, it's not just a title. It's a legacy. It's the highest position that you can get on the WWE. It is showing that you are the best of the best. WWE is the staple of professional wrestling. Mm-hmm. And then we have titles that go in there. This is the top one. So when I got that title, man, it was just kind of like a lot of things hit me at once. It was like that point of saying, wow, you know, all the hard work that I've been putting in for the past 15, 16, 17, 18 years is paid off. And I'm starting
top one, but Roman Reigns, top one also. What would happen right now, Roman Reigns? What would happen?
Now you're fantasy booking. What do you think will happen?
My money's on you. Yeah.
Okay.
Personally.
There you go. There you go. You know, at some point in time, we have all the guys that make you feel good to be at the top. But now it's a time for the toughest and the baddest in across the board to be at the top. And that's what you have right now. I mean, Roman's at the top of the game right now, but so am I. That's what we're on different.
You are on top right now. But your first run with WWE, do you wish you did anything differently? Or are you happy with what you achieved in your first spell with WWE? Is there anything you maybe wish you had done differently? Because you look at people like Drew as well. They had to leave the company to come back and lift the gold.
I mean, I did the same. I never look at something and say, I wish I did something different. Because like right now in my life, I'm in a really good place in my life. I'm happy about everything. And if I start dwelling and saying, I wish I would have did something different, well, if I would have did something different then the outcome might be different now. Did I have an opportunity to win the title before? I think so. But I did need to get away, and I need to like explore. And one thing I did is I fought for 10 years. So I showed a little bit more validity in the Bobby Lashley brand and the Bobby Lashley character to let you know that I'm a professional wrestler, but I can beat you up too. Inside the cage, you're in a ring. So I enjoyed doing that just to kind of defend professional wrestling and show a different side of my character.
I love how when you say, when I beat people up, you just laugh laugh with a smile on your face. I really enjoy seeing that. And I'm looking forward to your match at WrestleMania Backlash even more now. You were the first African-American ECW champion. How does it feel to know that you have paved the way for many other African-Americans that have become champions recently?
Well, you know, by saying that, it does make me feel good. Because anytime you go through the business, there's all kinds of like milestones that you cross and records that you make. And I didn't even know that was one of them. But now that I've heard it, you know, that's awesome. Because there's a lot of great talent all across the board, every nationality, every diversity. And we're a very diverse company right now. So the fact that I was one of the first that kind of opened up the door to kind of remove that barrier, I think that's a cool thing. I removed that barrier into a world title, and then I opened up another world title for myself. So it's great.
You did. And one of the earliest memories I have was when you were the first man ever to break the Master Lock Challenge by Chris Masters, which was so fun. Right now, you are the master of the Hurt Lock. So is it fitting to have this as one of your signature moves with all the history behind it?
Absolutely. You break it, you take it. And that's what I did. I broke it, I took it. But you know, it's something where it's, you know what, I keep telling myself I'm going to do it, and I am going to do it probably tomorrow or this weekend or something like that. You know, the whole the watermelon challenge where you got to crush a watermelon.
Yeah,
I need to do that so people can know how strong this is. I mean, when I put it on Drew, I put it on Braun, they passed out. So it's not just a little bitty thing. It's I perfected this move to an unbelievable level. So I got to show how tough it actually is. I can't do it on fans. Of course, every time we run the fans, they're like, put me in a hurt lock. I'm like, it's not a game. I put you in a hurt lock, I put you to sleep.
Now, you mentioned watermelon. I kind of regret not asking you to bring a watermelon to the interview, because that would have been a lot of fun, seeing you on Zoom washing a watermelon.
I would have ripped it apart.
I'm sure you would. So the pairing of you and MVP is absolutely magical. How did that pairing come about, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, he's a good friend of mine. Me and MVP way back. And I mean, the story's come out several different times in different ways, but it was basically, I think it was Rey Mysterio. Somebody brought him back because MVP, he has a younger son. I think his son's 4 or 5 right now. Really cool kid. And when MVP was in before, his son was not around. So he always wanted his son to see him on the big stage, on that WWE ring. So he came back for the Rumble, and his son was able to come, and his son was able to see him as a true superstar. But then when he was there, you know, that's when the wheels started turning. I always wanted to do something with him again. And just the pairing, I talked to him, I said, man, this is a character that you are just, I mean, it's you, but we need to have it on TV. And then brought him on TV, and then one of the writers, they actually came to him and said, wow, you're pretty good on the mic. I was like, if you know MVP, you know MVP. he doesn't hold back at all. And he's very entertaining when he's on the mic. So it's a great pairing, because not only it's somebody that's good at what he does, it's actually a good friend of mine. So we're making a lot of money together.
You are. And I hate to ask you this question. What would happen if MVP turned on you?
Why are you guys trying to stir this up?
It's not
going to happen. It's not going to happen. I've been asked this in several interviews. It's not going to happen. There's a bond that we have that's beyond just being friends. And it's not going to happen where he needs to turn on me and I need to turn on him. It's not going to happen. So we won't even discuss that right now.
I just interviewed MVP before this, and he said that he was willing to turn on you. So,
right.
No, I'm only joking.
He found stirring.
I tried. So, of course, Lashley has the MVP. Brock Lesnar has Paul Heyman. So the question, I'm sure you get asked this all the time. I have to ask it. I heard you want it to happen. So I suppose I'm going to ask you versus Brock. Are we going to see it in the future, you think?
Look,
or it's out of your hands?
This is another thing that I tell people, and a great question. I'm here every week. Every week. You catch me on Raw, and I get the title. Before it was a case where, you don't have anything for Brock besides a match that everybody wanted to see. But now I do. So it's not a case of me or asking me anything. It's asking him. Because if he wants to do it, we can do it. And everybody's ready for it. Everybody wants it. So I'm ready to do it. And I don't know if we ask his handler or we ask him or what the case is. I have a lot of respect for Brock. I really do. Because he's done some huge things in this business, and he stepped over to the fight world too, and he handled his business there also. So all of that's admirable. And for me, as a competitor, as a fighter, you want to fight the best, and I know he's up there as one of the best. Either he fights me and proves that he's the best, or I just go by and I say, well, let me put it like this: Drew beat him in under 5 minutes, and I put Drew to sleep and took his title. So I'm better than him. So either I'm better than him and we just leave it at that, or he can come back and he can kind of change that. I don't know,
well,
whatever. Do.
Brock Lesnar, if you're listening, you heard it from Bobby Lashley, okay? He's waiting for you to come and take his title. I would love to see a triple threat match, you, Brock, and Matt Riddle, just because of your backgrounds. I think that would be absolutely epic. But I want to see you versus Brock. I can't wait for WrestleMania Backlash. Thank you so much, Bobby. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you.
My pleasure, man.